Welcome back to the program. For today's subject is child psychology. Do you know what this child psychology means? بخیر بنابو پروگرام کینوه لکمبریج تیوی. بو پروگرامی امرو من باسی درون ناسی من دال دکا. دزانن درون ناسی من دال چیه؟
Well, the term psychology refers to the conscious and the subconscious parts of the human brain. So, child psychology is the study of the conscious and the subconscious child development. And for psychologists to understand the cognitive and mental developments of children, they tend to observe how a child interacts with the world around them, how they interact with themselves, and how they interact with their parents as well. For a better understanding of how they behave as well. So that's what basically child psychology is in short.
How do you become child psychologist?
Well, becoming a child psychologist requires a minimum of a master's degree with a major in child development or child psychology studies. And for you to advance to top positions in this field, you need to acquire a PhD, that is a Doctor of Philosophy, which is based on research, or PSYD, that is a Doctor of Psychology, which is based on clinical practice.
What is different from child psychology and child development?
Majorly, child development differs from child psychology in 4 ways. Child psychology, for example, focuses on the content of the development, while child development focuses on the process of that development. Number 2, and comparatively speaking, of course, child development emphasizes more on the roles played by environment and experience than child psychology does. And 3, child psychology has only one major objective to study, that is different areas of child behavior, whereas child development has 5 objectives to study: to understand characteristic changes, to understand changing goals from one period to another, factors for these changes, finding out whether these changes are predictable, and finally to find out whether these changes are actually individual or characteristic of all other changes. And finally, child development studies the changes one goes through from actually right from conception till pubescent child.
Is child psychology a good career?
Good career or good job is actually a relative phrase because it depends on whether you're passionate about what you're doing. So, for example, if you love children and have a desire to spend your time bettering their lives or getting to know their behaviors or understanding their vulnerabilities and also engaging in developmental changes, then this field may really be a good fit for you. So, and also, as an example of what International Magazine says, according to Forbes, psychology was one of the top 10 majors for both men and women.
When should a child see a psychologist?
Well, this is a very important question actually, because there are some signs that we shouldn't ignore once noticed. For example, number 1, if their performance is affected at school. So if a child's behavior is having an ongoing negative impact on their performance at school, also is having a negative impact on in their extracurricular activities, friendship or family functioning, then this may be a sign that a psychologist should deal with. And also another point is when there is an unexplained physical symptom. For example, a child may not be able to verbally express their emotions and their feelings, so an anxiety might express itself and present itself in the form of physical feelings. So if your child is complained about feeling sick in the tummy or headaches, and when they are worried but there isn't any identified underlying physical health problems, then this may be a sign actually that there is an underlying anxiety problem. Number 3, if they are going through, let's say, changes in emotional connections. So if your child somehow is displaying more highlighted distress, frequent crying, sadness, anxiety, or let's say also anger, irritability, agitation, not engaging in previously enjoyable activities, then this may be a sign that a psychologist should be contacted to help them, or any other trusted source as well. Number 4 is not adjusting to change. As everyone else, children struggle to significant changes in life, like the death of a loved one, parental divorce, or even relocation. So if your child is experiencing persistent difficulties in adjusting over the course of several months, then this may be a serious issue that is worth getting help for. And in this case, actually, sooner rather than later. And finally, dominance behavior, or in other words, we call it bullying. So bullying can have a great impact on a child's behavior, moods, or even thoughts that might sometimes lead to ongoing emotional distress. Similarly, if noticing your child bullying others may also indicate that there is an outside help needed to manage how they behave with others, with other kids around them.
Who is the father of child psychology?
Well, there is this Swiss guy carrying the name Jean Piaget, whose great sympathy for children and keen observations on how they cope with the world around them made him a profound principal founder of modern child psychology.
What age is a child most influenced?
When it comes to child development, it's been said that the most crucial milestones of a kid's life occur by the age of 7. And this goes in line with what the great Greek philosopher Aristotle said: "Give me a child until he's 7, and I will show you the man." Now, this saying is really crucial because later on, and with countless researches, it was concluded that the brain develops rapidly during the first years of life. So, and also in this regard, there is a great study from Harvard University that shows before children turn 3 years of age, they are already forming 1 million neural connections every single minute. So how insanely mind-blowing this is, right? Because these connections will later on become the brain's mapping system.
Many parents ask, how do I know if my child is a psychology?
Well, all you need to do is just to follow some few steps. The first one is to observe your child. That is, you need to know them inside out. And for you to really know your child inside out, you need to be their best friend. And for you to be their best friend, you need to spend some quality time with them. And I actually would put 3 lines under the word quality. Because you need to pay full attention to them while addressing them, you need to listen to them, and you need to also praise them from time to time, and also giving them some responsibilities at the same time. And above all, you need to show them some respect, because this factor will create an unconscious respect factor that they will be utilizing later on in terms of their relationships with other children around them in their community.
What is important of child development?
This question is like asking what the importance of water to fish is. Because according to neurological research, the early years actually have a great and a key role in children's brain development. And for that reason, the cognitive, the emotional, the physical, the social development of a child has a direct impact on their overall development and the adult they will become. So that is why understanding the persistent need to invest in very young children is crucial, so as to maximize their future well-being.
How is the study of child psychology in useful education?
Well, it is useful in education. It is actually important in education because it can help us all understand how children take, as well as helping us understanding how to best support them to become well-rounded individuals. And also, and for that reason, it is useful to in assisting both parents and teachers to better understand children and to help in their care as well.
We have came to the end of this program, guys. I hope you enjoyed this program. Remember, stay safe. Do not go out without your masks. You need to wear masks. And I hope you learned something from this. And parents, I gave you points how to know if your child is a psychology and some other stuff. I hope you all learned from this program and see you next week. Bye-bye.